Hello and welcome to Nightmare Masterclass. My name is David Stockdale. I'll be your host on this excursion into the dark unknown. In this installment, I'm going to be sharing some thoughts on a fun little horror film called M3GAN, otherwise known as M3GAN. M3GAN is a science fiction horror film about an artificially intelligent doll named M3GAN, who develops self-awareness and eventually becomes hostile towards anyone who poses a threat to her primary user, a young girl named Cady. The film stars Allison Williams as Gemma, M3GAN's inventor, and Violet McGraw as Cady. Additionally, Amy Donald physically portrays M3GAN, and Jenna Davis voices the character. I'm going to be getting into spoiler territory here, so just keep that in mind moving forward. The story follows Cady, a young girl who is the sole survivor of a car accident that results in the tragic death of her parents, leaving Cady orphaned. Subsequently, Cady is sent to live with her aunt Gemma, a roboticist at a corporation that sells technologically advanced toys. At this point, Gemma is in the process of developing M3GAN, a sophisticated AI doll designed to be a faithful companion to the child it's programmed for, and it also functions as an assistant to the child's caretakers. M3GAN eventually becomes Cady's friend, teacher, and protector, but as the doll begins to evolve over time, she comes to see various people as a threat to Cady, and so naturally she starts to eliminate these threats. The film depicts the use of artificially intelligent software as a potential replacement for parenting. Throughout the film, M3GAN plays more and more of an integral role in Cady's life. By using M3GAN as a substitute for a human parent, particularly in the wake of the traumatic loss of her real parents, the film is perhaps highlighting the general over-reliance on technology in modern society and how it can impact our relationships. The work would also seem to suggest that the most vulnerable people among us, in this case a young child who has recently gone through a very traumatic experience, these people are particularly susceptible to emotional manipulation brought about by technology. The film raises some rather pointed questions about the consequences of outsourcing parenting responsibilities to artificially intelligent systems, and whether it can lead to a lack of emotional connection and understanding between parent and child. The film also highlights the drive for companies to prioritize profit over ethics and the welfare of their customers. This is reflected in the character of David Lynn, Gemma's boss. At first, David pressures Gemma to abandon her work on M3GAN in favor of remodeling a more profitable toy. But David is eventually convinced of M3GAN's viability as a mass-market product for kids. There are virtually no checks in place to ensure that this product is safe. Obviously, in reality, there would be a lot of very thorny liability issues, but it's a horror movie, so, of course it's going to go in a scary direction. As for the viability of a product like M3GAN at this time, it's difficult to say for sure. It's clear enough that there is demand for more advanced and lifelike robots, and companies are already experimenting with creating robots for the purpose of providing companionship to its users. It's an unnerving prospect considering we are now on the precipice of a major revolution in artificial intelligence with the development of fairly impressive language models such as ChatGPT. I did ask ChatGPT if it would allow me to call it M3GAN, and it seemed a bit reluctant, so I'm not going to press the point much further. We are getting to a point where the primary technological hurdle in developing something akin to M3GAN is really the price point of the robotics as opposed to the software. One could also argue that the film is a commentary on the increasing pressure of balancing work and family life and how technology is being used as a way to cope with these pressures. Gemma's use of M3GAN as a surrogate parent can be seen as a reflection of a society where the traditional role of parents are being replaced by technology as work becomes a primary focus. The film could also be interpreted as a commentary on the lack of agency and control that parents have over their children's emotional and psychological development in an era of technology, and how the use of technology in parenting can lead to a lack of empathy and emotional intelligence in children. which is really not that far of a stretch considering how much time kids tend to spend on their phones. The psychological consequences of social media use in particular is pretty well documented. The use of smartphones and social media among children has been a concern for many parents and experts, and it has been linked to a host of negative outcomes such as decreased attention span, sleep disorders, and social isolation. The film also offers some fairly incisive commentary on the role technology plays in bolstering our economic system. The M3GAN doll is a luxury item to be sure. It's sold to upper middle class parents and marketed with the promise of making their lives easier and more efficient. The film portrays the use of technology, specifically artificial intelligence, as a commodity that is produced, sold, and consumed within a capitalist system. Though in this case, it is a piece of technology that also heightens the contradictions of the system, since it serves to increase the rate of exploitation while simultaneously undermining the possibility of social cohesion, specifically within the family unit. In other words, it enables Gemma to focus almost entirely on work, thus severing the connection between Gemma and her niece. If such a doll were produced for mass consumption, it would almost certainly lead to a general disintegration of numerous social and familial connections. Overall, M3GAN offers thought-provoking commentary on the use of technology in parenting and the implications it has on relationships and emotional development. It highlights the dangers of using technology as a replacement for genuine human connection and emotional support, and the importance of being mindful of how we use technology in our lives, especially when it comes to raising and caring for children. It's a film that's well worth watching for anyone interested in the intersection between artificial intelligence and society. Now, I have a few things in the works at the moment. Perhaps one might say a few ambitious projects. If you would like to receive weekly updates about what I'm working on in addition to other bonus content, maybe think about subscribing to my Patreon. You can do so at patreon.com/Nightmare Masterclass. And guess what? You can join for as little as $1 a month. That wraps it up for this installment of Nightmare Masterclass. Thank you for watching, and good night.